Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now last winter, a Canadian company called Scoutlight got in touch and asked if I would like to have a look at a product that they were bringing through to their Kickstarter, and that is the Blinko. So the Blinko is a small multifunctional light. There's a few different colours on here that you can clip to yourself so that whilst you're out running you can be seen, or cycling, or whatever it is that you need to do whilst you're out at night. Pretty much if you can clip this, well, you can use this in any situation where you can clip this to something and you can be seen. So what they've done is they've kind of expanded it, I guess you could say. So this is the Blinko, and its new sibling, its new sister, brother, cousin is the Sparkco. So the Sparkco is a similar light. If I turn this on for a second, hope you can see that. So this illuminates you so that you can be seen whilst you're out and about, but it's more EDC-able in the fact that some of the features that are on here will make you want to carry this a little bit more every day rather than just when you're out running. This is coming up to Kickstarter. In fact, this will be released on the day when the Kickstarter starts for this. The Blinko was incredibly successful, and I'm 100% sure that this will be successful as well. So let's turn the camera around and take a closer look at the Sparkco. As far as the Sparkco is concerned, with the period in which they sent this to me not being in full production yet, it doesn't have its full retail packaging. So I can't really do an unboxing like I would normally do, but I'm sure you can probably imagine there's going to be some instructions in there. There will most definitely be a USB Type-C cable because that's how this charges. I don't know whether this comes with it. I'll leave a link, I'll leave a note down here whether this extra bit comes with it or not. And I also have the Blinko here with it as well, just so that we can do a little bit of a comparison between the two. Now the size dimensions on this, I will leave the exact dimensions down here, but you're looking at roughly about 1.5 inches across on the face here, and it's roughly about kind of 2 inches here. If you imagine this like a watch face, you can see it's roughly kind of the size of a watch face. The materials that this is made from, there's a combination of materials on here. There is some aluminium, there is some like a silicone kind of material as well, and then you've got some resin material that the front of the face is made from. But it's fairly lightweight as well. That is the beauty of this, and with the Blinko as well. These are designed to be worn on you. They're designed to be carried. You can put this in your pocket and you can, walk around and do whatever it is you need to do with this. But this is designed to be clipped to something. Now that's one of the major differences between the Blinko, which I have here, and the Sparkco. So the Blinko, I'm just gonna have to bring my leg up here. This has a clip on it, and you clip this onto something. It does have a magnet on the back. I've never popped it off like that before, but you can clip this onto something and you can go and do whatever it is that you need to do with it. With the Sparkco instead, this uses a really strong magnet. Now I say one, I think there's actually 4 in here, so hopefully you might be able to see here through the silicone. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty sure it's like that mainly because as you come down you can feel them pushing into these almost kind of cardinal points. So how this works is, instead of clipping this to something, instead this goes through the back of the material and then it goes over the top. And you really have to pull to get this off. I mean, I had to pull it to get it off there. That kind of makes sense. But whilst I've been out running with this, I will either attach this. It's quite tough magnets. I'll attach this either to my waistband and have it down that way so that it kind of hangs. Or there have been a few occasions where I've then clipped it to my t-shirt so that way it's hanging this way. The main reason that I've tried to, as much as possible, hang it to my waistband is, as I'm running around and bouncing up and down, eventually my waistband works into this bit and it will never slip all the way down to make sure that it falls off, because really that bit would have to undo and it'd have to come across. I did want to test it to see if I could clip it to my t-shirt. The bit that I'm really glad that it didn't come off is because if that's there, then eventually if this pulled down through inertia whilst I'm running, then it could slip off. But I'm happy to say that it didn't slip off. I did 2 runs, well at least I always run with it that way, but the 2 runs that I tested on, one was a 5k, one was a 10k, and by the time it got to the end, it hadn't budged, which again I was really nicely surprised about, because if you did want to use this whilst running, then you can attach it to things like that. I will say though, with the Blinko, so because this is a grip, I can put it onto my finger there and I can go for a run with it. I probably wouldn't, that would be really strange to run with it on my finger. But you can fit something in here that's maybe 3 or 4 millimeters in depth, and you can still have it to that. Even things like my backpack here, I can clip this onto here, and then I can go for a walk with that. With the Sparkco, because there's a magnet in here, once I get past about say 3 or 4 millimeters, that magnetism does decrease. So it has its advantages and disadvantages. This is definitely lighter than the Blinko, but if you're wearing a t-shirt that the material's more than 3 millimeters thick, which would be what, a tank, then you might have some difficulties with this. I don't know why I had to point that out, but I guess to some degree it makes sense, because generally this is just going to go over some sort of clothing, but if you want to put it on something thicker, then you just have to be careful. Now, as I've kind of shown, so this opens out like this. You clip it over something. If you wanted to, grab some 550 paracord, put it through here, tie a little knot in it, and then you can attach this to your keys. You can kind of add it to different things. You could do lots of different things with this. There is a magnet on the back here as well. So as I mentioned, I will double check to see if this comes with this or not, but you do get this little adapter, which I always fold back the wrong way. I don't know why I keep doing that. Every single time I do it, I always do the wrong way. That is because if you did want to use this whilst maybe you're out camping, then you can fold this out, attach that to it, and then you've got a little directional light that you can use for camping. Or if you're doing something else with it and you want to kind of put this down so that maybe you're doing some writing in the dark maybe, and there's a blackout or something, then you can do that as well. One of the beauties of this is, now unfortunately I don't, well unfortunately for my Apple I guess, I don't own an iPhone, but this is a MagSafe clip as well. So if this were to be an iPhone, I could put this on here, I could clip that on here as well, and be able to use this. I've got that the wrong way around. You had. And be able to use this as a secondary light, so that whilst I'm out and I'm taking some nice photos of myself and I want to get some nice glamour shots, whatever it is that I'm doing, then I can do that. Or you can flip it around on the opposite side, and if you're taking some photos of your food, because people like to do that sort of stuff nowadays, then again you've got a secondary light so that you can add to that too. It's quite a useful little clip as well. I guess if there was an emergency sort of service and you needed to make sure that you wanted to say clip this to your car, you could just stick it to the back of your car and you could turn it on. We will have a look at the lights on in a second. Or maybe if you wanted to put it on the side of your car, you could put it on there. Maybe you're doing some work, you don't want to shout at your kids, make sure you hold light Aziz. If you get that reference, that's because you're cool. You can attach this to the underside of the bonnet of your car, maybe. Lots of different functions. I think on the Scoutlight website, there was a guy who's out cycling at night. He gets back to his car because he's had this on his back so that he can be seen, but then gets back to his car, he's getting some stuff out of his boot, and he clips this to the boot so that he can see in the car while he's putting his bike stuff away. So yes, very multifunctional with the two of these together. I'm guessing these probably do come together. Now, as I mentioned, so there is a battery in here. The battery is charged via USB Type-C and has a reasonably large capacity. Now, if you look at this, you can imagine that it's not going to be like your full flashlights where you get 1,000 hours worth of light out of them, but still the amount of light, 12 to 14 hours, that you get out of this still is great. I've been using this whilst running. I can go out running for a fortnight, run for an hour at a time, and then charge this up. I run 3 or 4 times a week, charge this up, and it just keeps going. The way that I've been doing it with the Blinko is I just have this in my car, and I just have it plugged into the USB port in my car, so it's always charged. So at the moment I have this hanging from the rear view mirror of my car, and I have this so it's down near the glove box, and I keep this charged, and I've just kind of been swapping between the two or using both of them. So it's really easy to be able to keep this charged. Now the function of this, this is definitely multifunctional. If you look through the center here, this little bit in the middle, that's actually the button, which is the button whether it's here or whether it's here, because it fits over that. That button also doubles up as kind of a lock. So when you've got your clothes through here, the lock, the cloth fits over this, and then when this closes it pushes the clothes up into this hole as well, and again just adds an extra little bit of friction to make sure that this doesn't pull off when it's on your clothes. But the button in the middle, you do a long press. Actually, let's turn that back off again for a second. What you can do is, whilst it's turned off, if you do a quick press, this will turn it on and it will give you an idea of how much battery. Now I did charge this morning to make sure that it's full, so hopefully you'll have seen that all of the lights around the outside of here, in fact we'll do it again, see it went 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 quadrants all lit up. If there was 50% or less in this, then you would see that it would just go 1, 2, and 50% of the lights would turn on. If there was 25% or less, then you just see that this first quadrant here. So you'll know whether you're 100%, 75%, 50% or 25% full. I like that little feature on there. Now to turn it on properly, you do a long press in the middle and then that turns it on for you. So hopefully you'll see that I didn't do a long press enough. So now we're on. Now it is still in the mode that I had this when I was running, so this is the flashing mode. I find this is best. I have used it on some of the other ones, but I'm always just a bit worried just in case I'm not seen whilst running, so I keep it on this because it's very similar to a light on the back of a push bike. I think that's the best way to describe these, especially if you're using these for running. It's exactly the same as people on bikes have been using for, you know, decades. If you want to go through the different modes, then you just press the button in the middle, so then you can then move through them. So when it's on the red light mode, you have 4 modes. You have the flashy mode, then you have low, medium and high, and it goes up to 300 lumens, so you can really be seen with this. There are 3 other light modes. If I do a double press, you'll see now that we're in the white light mode. In fact, let's drop this down so that we're on medium. Now these have 4 modes, but it doesn't have that blink. It doesn't have that flash. So instead, let's go through them. So you're on moonlight mode, low, medium, and high. So it doesn't have that blinking, but what it does have is, let's put it onto low. It does have 3 color options with this. So at the moment it's on the white light. If I do another double click, it goes on to the more kind of natural everyday light, and this does the same. So we're already on low, medium, high, moonlight, and then low. And then if I do another double press, this then puts it on to its warm light mode, and this is exactly the same. So we're on low, medium, high, and then moonlight mode. If I do another double click on this, now this is then going to cycle that back round to the red light mode, and we're back on the flashing version of the red light mode, and it will remember the different modes on each of the different sides. Actually, I take that back. The difference between the red light mode, it will remember the red light mode mainly because the 3 modes of the red light modes are different to the 3 modes of the white light modes. Whereas if you're on the white light modes, if you're on medium and you transfer between the white light, the warm light, so the white light, the natural light and the warm light, it will stay on medium for each of those. If you go then circle back around to the red light mode, it will then put it on to whichever the red light mode that you're on. For me, as I say, I just keep it on this one, which is the one that I use for running. Now with the Blinko, let me just bring this back. Here's a Blinko. Works in a similar fashion. Let's turn this on. So there we're on. With this one, it's got a few different modes, so you can press on these and it will cycle through them. So there's like a faster blinking, there's a slower blinking. That's a little bit faster, and then you get onto the full light modes. Then you can do another long press to turn off. Double press will then change through the different modes as well. So then you have an orange light mode on this, and then you can then press these again and it will go through the different blinking modes with these as well. There's an SOS function on here as well, which I think is a triple press, but yeah, don't particularly use that one that much. Long press to turn off, similar with this one, long press to turn off as well. Really useful. Oh, I forgot to mention with this one as well. So this one's actually available in a few different colours. I think there's 3 different colours at launch. I know I've probably said 1,000 times, so this is coming to Kickstarter on the day that this content comes out, and they have the 3 different colours available. I'm sure that this Kickstarter will be just as successful for the Sparkco as it was with the Blinko, and there may be other colours in the future, but this is the green version. This is the one that I asked for, and yeah, really happy with this. And I've been down to the fishing pond, and it is a reasonably light night tonight, so I've come back to Castle Moorlander. I've closed the blinds, I've closed the curtains, and I thought we'd have a look here. So there's, I just did a single press. So there's a single press. You can see the battery. Luckily we're still at pretty much 100%. Let's turn this on. Back still on the flashy mode. So we're on the red mode, so I can press this in the middle, and it'll go through. Oh, Norman, I didn't realise Norman was in here as well. So where are we? That was low, medium, and then we're on high. And I'll cycle back round to the flashy mode. I can do double press, and we're going to go through the light modes. I thought we'd have a look at some things here. So at the moment we're on, well, actually, let's make sure, let's double check. I think we're on the moonlight mode, or the ultra, like the eco mode. So it should be low, medium, and then high. So this will be the crisp white mode. Let's do another click. This is the kind of the natural light mode. And again, so we were on high, weren't we? So here's eco. There's low, medium, and high. So it's perfect if you're going to do some reading, or even just being able to look around here. You can see there's plenty of light, especially from the highest mode. And then a double press, and you can see the warm. So this is the warmer. This is the warmer temperature. Let's go back down to eco, low. We'll just out of focus there. Let's get close to this telephone. We got a weird little head thing there. Medium, and then high. Yeah, I'm just kind of holding this out, but let's go back around. Let's go to the white light. And again, just fill in the room. Let's fill up the light in here. That was medium. I went round, didn't I? No, medium, high. So yeah, 300 lumens does a very good job. And again, so you know what this is used for. This is being able to read with things, but also if I was to put this over here, oh look at that, good old-fashioned eagle-eye cherry CD. Going through some CDs the other day. It lights up that area really well. When you're outside, especially when it's dark, if you're doing some camping with this, or if you need to read at night, it's perfect. Let's put it onto its lowest setting. In fact, let's go, so it's natural, let's go onto the warm light. Let's put it onto its lowest setting. Even then, so I'm on the other side of the room, you can see it's filled up right against that curtain there, over onto the settee. So yeah, it does a really good job. It's just a shame, unfortunately, that it's quite a light night outside. But I think for the amount of light that this pumps out, as I've mentioned several times, I use this whilst running. Let's put you on to there's high. There's that flashing mode. So if I come back here again, does an incredibly good job when that's clipped on your waist and you're out running. People really can see you from a good distance away. Now an extra mode that I did actually forget to mention before. So if you do a triple click, it puts it onto this beacon mode. So if you did want to have this on your car maybe, or if you're out camping and you want people to be able to find you, this is a very good mode for that. Haven't been using this whilst I've been running. I've been using that circular running mode, but you can see the amount that this fills the room. Hopefully this comes across well on camera. So there you have it, the Scout Light Sparkco. I really do like these little multifunctional lights. I make a lot of content on lights that are useful to point in a direction so that you can see where you're going, and those lights are awesome. But there's a huge benefit to lights so that you can illuminate yourself so that you can be seen by others. Now, as I mentioned, I use this more for whilst out running because I can clip this to myself with ease and just be able to go out for a run. But just being able to have this around the house, to have, I've been like little social media photos and that sort of stuff, just being able to hold this and then take some photos as well for different lighting conditions. I know it's sad, but you know, that's what you do when you're in social media. But outside of that, I can see that this is going to be useful for a lot of people. I don't think these are particularly expensive as well. I'll put the details below. In fact, what I will do is, so that I don't have to guess, I will leave all of the details below for the Kickstarter. There is one of those kind of early starter campaign kind of things for this as well. I'm sure it was 19. Anyway, I'll leave the details below so that you can see more from this. As I mentioned at the beginning of this, the Kickstarter is now live. It's gone live today. So if you want to back this, it's a great way of being able to support Scout Light, and then you'll be able to get out one of these as soon as the Kickstarter is finished and you know the production line is out, and yeah, you can get one of these to you. So yes, all of those links are below. I'll leave some of my social media links below as well so that you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC, and my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical, where we look at a few little more kind of tactical things. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Oh, I'm freaking recording. Usually, I'm talking and I've forgotten to hit record. Today, I've been messing and I've been recording messing with these. Idiot. So it's a similar style light. If I turn this on for a second, I was on. That I can turn on for a second. Should we do that again? Yeah, let's do it again because I'm an idiot. The first piece of content I made on from piece. This is Moorlander EDC. Now, the winter that's just gone. Word. Well, it is now. Anyway, so let's turn the camera around. Oh, freaking shit! Out to me, it doesn't have its official, what would you call it? Its retail packaging. Let's start that again. So there you have it with the Sparkco. I genuinely do really like this. I think the idea of having these plain... The flies are getting really bitey today, little buggers. This isn't coming out on the usual day. I think this is coming out on a Thursday. The main reason this is coming out today is because I've been working with Scout Light to make sure that this content comes out on the day that the Kickstarter goes live. So I think we're getting 3 pieces of content this week, which is always nice. It's always great to see a little bit more of Randy. Everybody likes a little flash of Randy through the day. Some Moorlander joy. Anyway, cool. I hope you're all having a good week. I hope you're all having a good Thursday. Just one more sleep and it's nearly the weekend. I will see you all soon.